Have you any idea how successful censorship is on TV? Don't know the answer? Successful, isn't it?
Screw your freedom.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Oh my God. Welcome back to the bunker. Welcome to the Prepared Mind channel. Oh, I just couldn't help it. I had to get some max headroom on there. Max headroom. And then you can't handle the truth. We had a subscriber send a message in yesterday. Apparently, he had his very young son, a young toddler, and he listened to the show, and then he went and told his mother something, and I've got a recording of it. Of course, I can't show children on my channel because it's not my child, and boy, you know, that would be bad. Anyways, here's a recording of what the kid said to his mom. It's very cute.
Right. What did you tell Mommy? You can't handle truth. You can't handle truth.
You can't handle the truth, Mom. Oh, folks, we're all getting a good dose of it. Thank you, Uman, for passing that on. And the names of the youth are protected to maintain their innocence as long as we can. Oh my gosh, what a wild day. Woke up, did a couple videos with you guys, got ready, went through the day, and oh my God, what's coming in is just unbelievable. I hope you're having a great day. The week is kicked off. It's hit the fan. Do you have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense? Do you have your plan? I'm sitting here in the bunker. I'm comfy. I'm babysitting Bentley, the Maine Coon, today. Bentley, you want to be famous, buddy? Nope, he doesn't want to be famous today. Anyways, you want to know who wants to be famous? Is everyone who works at Twitter, who very soon will not work at Twitter. They're losing their minds over this, folks. It is way beyond what I thought it was. This Twitter thing, can you believe it? And by the way, that watermark up there, Kaz did that. Fourth Dimension Kaz did that. I love that. The artwork he did for us. Mr. T has done a lot of stuff, and we'll see if I get a copyright violation notification for putting a little bit of max headroom on there. Anyways, yeah, censorship. Do you know how good they are at it? Well, if you don't, yeah, that lets you know exactly how good they are. So, censorship. I've got some articles here that are just incredible, folks. Incredible. I want to get it right. Oh, by the way, this is the monologue followed by the Q&A. So get your Q&A questions in to Jolene. She'll get them all lined up. This is incredible. Here we go. Let's start right here with Twitter censorship. You can't handle the truth. And CNN. Folks, they're losing their shit. I had no idea. I really didn't. Now, I mean, literally, I had no idea these people were so worried about free speech. Oh, we were told, right? And I covered it last night that free speech is, it's part of a racist obsession that white men have. It's like, where did that come from? Well, a panicked CNN guest, and his name is it's a weird name. No, I haven't been on the Scotch bottle today. David Zurawick. He's an old white guy. Anyways, he's losing his shit. He's panicking. Folks, the evil rats know they're evil. They know their lies are what keeps us held in slavery. And they know if we get free speech, we can be free. They know we can fight back. And free speech is far more critical than you and I can guess. That's why I looked up, found that Max Headroom. That's why I decided to make that little guy famous, at least his voice, right? Listen to the panic, the fear, and the terror in this publicly exposed left-wing lunatic this weekend who was on CNN. There's a bigger problem, folks, here about how we're going to control the channels of communication in this country. That's his quote. There's a bigger problem here about how we're going to control the channels of communications in this country. This is David Zurawick. He frothed. He was panicking, panting like a turd. Incredible. He's panicking because CNN isn't able to dictate what you and I hear and what you and I think. Continues, quote, "This is dangerous. We can't think anymore in this country. I'm serious. We don't have people in Congress who can make regulations that can make it work." He's talking about censorship. This is dangerous. We can't think anymore in this country. No, we can think. He doesn't want us to think. Now, the clown continues, quote, "I think we can look to the Western countries in Europe for how they are trying to limit it," meaning free speech, "but you need control on this. You need regulation. You cannot let these guys control discourse in this country or we are headed to hell." Can you believe that? Quote, "We are here," he said. "Trump opened the gates of hell and now they're chasing us down." Are you kidding me? Trump opened the gates of hell? And now you and I, patriotic, free Americans, are chasing them down? No, all we're doing is talking about what they're doing and helping each other understand what's happening. It's unbelievable that this visceral, childlike reaction coming from the media heads, folks. Trump opened the gates of hell, and now the regular people are chasing them down. Yeah, we're asking them, why did you lie? Why did you lie? Why did you lie? Why are you lying? What are you lying about? They're lying to us about Ukraine. They're lying to us about Zelensky. They're lying to us about Hunter Biden. They've been caught. They've been caught. The New York Post was not lying about the laptop. But the powers that be, the Washington bureaucracy, the New York Times, Twitter, everyone were lying about Hunter Biden's laptop. Smoking crack, doing deals for the big guy, 10% across the board. You need regulation. No. They need censorship. Speech is regulated, right? Speech is regulated on the FCC, on the airwaves. You can't just get on there and drop F-bombs on the radio. But this is the internet. This is still free speech. This is still the public square. And the Supreme Court of the United States someday better wake the hell up before they discover they're no longer needed and we just have a dictator in place that makes all the right decisions, because of national security. Anyways, they're losing their shit over folks, Twitter. They're losing it over Twitter. Unbelievable. Now, Twitter itself is losing its shit. Again, this is just a stupid social media application. Twitter is running posts, promoted posts, meaning people they want their post up front. Twitter is running posts, folks, attacking its own owner, its new owner, Elon Musk. This is woke times 44 billion. Unbelievable. They're running posts, folks, going after their new owner. Right? Elon Musk ran on Twitter his own post. It was rocket ship star, heart, yes! Exclamation point, heart, star, rocket ship. That's what he posted when his deal finally happened and he bought Twitter. Now, the screwball left went absolutely nuts. And so other ding-dongs, like this guy named Journey Ranger, he has a promoted tweet, meaning Twitter is promoting this tweet against him. It says many suspect Elon Musk's eccentric behaviors are for the cameras and the public side of his life, but an ex-girlfriend reveals dark details about the billionaire's private life that left the public astounded. Right? Elon Musk's ex confirmed sinister rumors. Unbelievable. Yeah, okay, they're going to attack their own owner. They're guaranteeing they're going to be getting their walking papers. It used to be that getting a pink slip was bad. They may think that's a badge of honor now. But it wasn't just his own people at Twitter that went after him. It's not just this jackass on CNN that says Trump opened the gates of hell and we have to stop these people. We can't let Twitter get free. What are they so afraid of? I mean, you and I have been screaming for justice for Hillary, Eric Holder, Obama, Hunter Biden. How about James Comey? Ruby Rod Rosenstein. How about Christopher Wray? How about justice for everyone that's gotten screwed over, like the January 6th protesters who are being framed by the FBI? Yeah, we would like freedom of speech, but I guess we're not going to get it. But MSNBC came out with a hit piece, folks. It's incredible what this guy, this clown, had to say. Let me see if I can get his name in here. Renata Conkley replied to Elon Musk and says, the new Minister of Truth is such a nice, neutral, unbiased person, referring to this left-wing lunatic. And Elon Musk responded, all's well that oars well. Oh, that's hilarious. A little comedy for you. They don't like that stuff, folks. They're losing their shit. They're losing it. So get this, right? They went nuclear on MSNBC and said Republicans are Nazis, essentially. And then they tied Musk to the right-wing Nazis that want to be on Twitter, right? Liberal socialists are pissing off Musk so much, folks, that he's actually becoming more freedom-oriented and is attacking them verbally. Now, again, this is one of the world's richest men, the world's most rich male, man, guy, whatever, who has his wealth publicly announced, right? You would think someone that's that rich would not want to rock the boat, wouldn't want to piss off groups. He would stay neutral, right? Stay neutral so he can continue to make money. Elon Musk has fuck you money. I wish I had 1/10 of his fuck you money. I wish I had 100th. I wish I had shit. I wish I had $1 million. All right. This guy has gone off on him. They're just making him a bigger enemy of their socialist crap and making him a bigger ally to the Constitution, freedom, free speech, and our constitutional republic. So after saying Republicans are Nazis and then tying Musk to it, Elon Musk came out and just slammed them. Adding NBC is was the quote, same organization that covered up the Hunter Biden laptop story, had Harvey Weinstein story early and killed it, and built the Matt Lauer rape office. That's right. Yeah. Remember Matt Lauer, another mainstream lunatic? Yeah. He just kind of disappeared. Yeah. NBC hid Weinstein. NBC built the Matt Lauer rape office. NBC covered up Hunter Biden. The Musk man is attacking them, folks, right? Because Mehdi Hansen said that the neo-Nazi faction of the Republican Party would regret championing a quote, and this is what they said about Musk, a petulant and not so bright billionaire. So that's the same organization that says he's a petulant, not so bright billionaire. How does he become a billionaire? I mean, I know you can accidentally win the lottery by picking some numbers. I know that. But you don't become a billionaire by being not so bright. Where are we at in this, folks? Where are we at in the world of SHTF? Where's Waldo in this mess? Unbelievable. So we're fighting back. You and I, we're calling our representatives in Congress, in the Senate. You're working on your governors and your state legislatures. Keep it up, right? You're inspiring them to keep fighting, even though it's hard to win, folks. It's hard to win. But there's now a new bill in Congress in Washington, D.C., which is, basically a socialist shithole. And it's been put up there by none other than, I believe, Representative Boebert, that wants to eliminate Biden's Ministry of Truth. This is what was said about this disinformation, right? The disinformation Nazis wrote, "This kind of stuff is terrifying. We in Congress have the power of the purse. It is our duty to shut down this department immediately." This is what Boebert told Fox News. "I'm calling on leadership in the Republican Party, Leader McCarthy, Whip Scalise, and others to join me in calling for this department to be shut down and defunded. No tax dollars should go to where Biden can use the power of the federal government to silence truthful stories like big tech did with the Hunter Biden story." Right? She compared the disinformation board to the Ministry of Truth in Orwell's 1984. This is great. Congresswoman Boebert is referring to Orwell in 1984. Musk is referring to Orwell in 1984. The Disinformation Governance Board, a member, a part of the federal bureaucracy that has no accountability and is just going to be turned loose on us like a rabid Rottweiler. And folks, you and I have A1 sauce poured all over us, and they're coming after us. Right? This lunatic on CNN says the gates of hell are open and we're coming after them. They're coming after us. All we want to do is be able to talk, and they're coming after us. Unfreaking believable. It is, folks. It really is unbelievable. Where do we go? Are you prepared, right? On Russian TV, their media in Russia is warning that Britain can be drowned in radioactive tsunami. Where did that come from? Well, there's something I've been kind of sitting on and not really having a reason to talk about it. But it's becoming more apparent. If Russian TV is warning England, hey, we can drop one mega bomb, right? One nuclear strike in the ocean and just push a 500 meter foot, whatever the hell, wall of water over the top of England, which, by the way, I don't think they could. I don't think it would happen that way, but they made the threat, right? Drowning England in a radioactive tsunami. Why would they do that? Why would they say that? Number one, I do not believe Putin and Russia will order that strike. Either a nuke in the ocean or a nuke on the land. I don't think they will. This is, however, grade A war rhetoric, media rhetoric. It sounds to me like the Kremlin is using extreme hyperbole to counter NATO's threats. Putin and the world know any nuclear weapons usage will lead to total release by both sides, all sides, and nuclear destruction of the planet would follow. Nobody would live. Nobody would win. Nobody would have any fun from that point on. Right? I know the assholes at the top, all the powerful assholes in every country. I know they're greedy, but are they stupid and suicidal? I don't think so. But why would they single out England? This is a question, folks. What are you doing there, Bentley? Why would they single out England? England is no longer, folks, part of the European Union. They Brexited. They Brexited. What is England doing then that would piss off Russia? They're part of NATO. Yes, they are. They're part of the NATO alliance, but they're not part of the European Union. It is my understanding, according to, I think, leaks from both sides, it's my understanding that English SAS personnel, special forces, are in Ukraine training Ukraine fighters. It's my understanding that England is really pushing this, folks. In London proper, that is the seat of world economic and financial power. It is that world power seated in England and led by its, shall we say, mouthpieces like George Soros, who's heavily involved in American politics, and Klaus Schmidt, the Schmidt head himself of the World Economic Forum. Their money, their moneyed interests, their power comes out of England, London. They're the ones pushing for this. They're the ones who are laundering, according to some experts, allegedly laundering money in Ukraine. There are many experts who are alleging that. And so, yeah, England, or rather the city of London, which is not London proper, but the city of London, is very upset that they're losing control of their money pit, their money mine in Ukraine. And so they're pushing the hardest for World War III with Russia. So Russia is stepping around NATO, over the top of Europe, and saying, knock, knock, knock. Hello, Britain. We could drop one nuke offshore and wipe you out. That would, of course, be a devastating and awful thing to happen. I don't think it's going to. But the Russian media is telling the world, we know who is calling the shots. The United States is fighting a proxy war. England is fighting a proxy war. But he didn't say I could drop a nuke, or the Russian media didn't say we could drop a nuke off the coast of the United States of America and wash a 500-foot wall of water over the top of Washington, D.C. It sounds to me like they're identifying Boris Johnson and England, the city of London, the financial district of the world. And in the United States, we've got New York City for finances, and we've got Washington, D.C. for politics. In England, you've got London and the city of London, the two seats of power, the two pillars of power, if you will. And I think what the Russians are saying is the United States is a vassal of this British and world power. That's right, the Anglo-American Empire, folks. Russia is saying we know it's all actually run out of England. That's who Biden's paymasters are. That's who Biden is obeying. The World Economic Forum and the City of London. What do you think? Right? For Russian media to be that brazen, unbelievable. I've got so many more stories to go here. Where do we start next? Where do we start next? How about this? How about another positive story? In Italy, the people there have had it with their government. A woman stepped out in front of the president of Italy's car, stops his car, right? She's pissed at him because he used Cerveza to destroy the individual rights of Italians, and all the Italians who witnessed this were cheering and applauding. People have had it, right? Is this sort of thing coming to America? Are Americans going to, and I'm talking about patriotic Americans, not the mostly peaceful protesters that burn, loot, and murder. I'm talking about people just like you and me, regular people. Are we going to start stepping out in front of the motorcades again and say, we've had it with you people, what you're doing? I mean, let me give you an example here, right? Italy says in one hand, it's like, okay, we're going to pay Russia for gas and energy in rubles. And then they came out and denied it. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. You see, Italy, just like Germany and other countries, has abandoned carbon type energy, right? Oil, gas, coal. They want to pretend like they're not using that stuff. They want to virtue signal to the rest of the world. So they've been getting rid of it and then buying Russian gas. They don't want to bring their own gas out of the ground. They don't want to have their own resources used. They want to pretend like they're above it all. And they got caught by screwing with Russia, who's supplying all of Europe. They've got a freaking mess on their hands, folks. Germany has got a mess on its hands. I mean, how is this all going to work out for the people? Germany has now threatened an immediate embargo on Russian oil. An immediate embargo on Russian oil. I mean, why? Just a couple of weeks ago, they're like, no, please don't hurt us, Russia. Please make sure you keep selling it. And then everyone's like, wait a minute, you're buying Russian gas, Russian oil, Russian coal. You're funding Russia's military to attack the poor little people of Ukraine. Right? That was what was being said. And so then Germany backed off. And Germany was like, no, we're not gonna support Ukraine because that could cause a war, World War III. And we're right on the border practically with Russia. You know, we're 2 stone throws away. And then something happened over the weekend, and all of a sudden, Germany's like, yeah, we're going to give some of our World War II era, they didn't say that, we're going to give some of our anti-aircraft tanks to Ukraine. And they gave them some freaking relics, but military hardware. You know, and they said, we're going to support the Ukrainians. This whole thing is a sham. It's a giant sham. I hope you're wound up, because I am wound up tight as a fiddle, tight as a drum with what is happening, folks. It is incredible. I mean, how can we know? Right? I've got this. Let me finish up with this, right? This is President Trump. He came out. I want to bring it all home, folks. Let's just bring it home. Shit has hit the fan. We've got energy problems. We've got food problems. We've got health problems. Yeah, New York City is starting to strap its own people down. It's raised its cerveza bug awareness. You know, DEFCON, CervezaCon 3. They've raised their awareness level because China is having a problem. And folks, there's a lot of people looking around the world going, China, does it really have a problem with something we know isn't deadly when we have treatments that actually cure people? And we're supposed to believe it's that bad over there. It's worse than the freaking Black Plague. You know, anyways, yeah, New York City's trying to lock people down. Oh, trust me, folks. So Trump comes out and says, Mitch McConnell and his rhino friends would rather see a Democrat like Biden be president than a Republican like me. That's what Trump said. He ripped into McConnell. He ripped into the rhino Republicans, right? The never Trumper types in Washington, D.C., that sewer of a shithole, Washington, D.C. So I'm going to ask you, let's stump the audience. True or false? I ask you, right? Is Trump actually on the good side, our side, the side of freedom and liberty? Or is this part of a deeper, more sinister game where all sides are evil and they're openly fighting one another, dividing the population into angry and victimized partisan groups? Right? Will the evil attack the evil in Washington, D.C., and also attack the other evil in Washington, D.C., right? Democrats, rhinos, Republicans, if they're all evil, are they going to continue to attack each other and then have open war? So what does that have to do with us, the people? Right? They whip up their partisan groups. Are we being lied to and fooled? Because it's hard not to see what Trump has said as a lie. It's hard to see that as a lie, right? Because we know Mitch McConnell would rather see, right, Biden in office than him. When Boebert called for, she called him Leader McCarthy, right? Rhino McCarthy, the House Minority speaker for the Republicans. I called him leader. I don't see him as a leader. I see him as a sellout, a liar, because that's what they've done, folks. Well, if all sides are fighting one another, all the leadership people are fighting one another and genuinely divide and split the population into violent and near violent groups, inflexible partisans, where should a patriot like you stand to observe what's going on and figure out what to do, right? Where should a patriot stand to fight? Certainly not on the side of the socialists and the Democrats. Certainly not on the side of the rhinos. Do we stand with the other Republicans, right? Is there a side for patriots to stand on? Right? When the fighting starts, when it gets nasty, where do you stand, folks? Just a question. Again, I don't promote or push violence or any of that stuff, but look at what's being said. I mean, they're screaming and yelling. You cannot have a disinformation, right, ministry of truth. We can't have that. Are they going to push to defund it? Or they're like, we don't care. We want people silent. We don't want people having an opinion. We don't want people speaking. It's unbelievable. And more evidence that they're coming apart at the seams in DC. They're panicking. The media is panicking. They're pissing off Russia and they're getting scared. Russia's, throwing threats back. The media is falling apart. The politicians are falling apart. How about this? Dr. Birx says that the U.S., the United States, must prepare for a summer cerveza bug virus surge. What? Yeah, that's what she said prior to the 2022 elections. Remember Dr. Birx? She was the scarf wearing doctor that used to stand up there with Dr. Doom. So now that Dr. Doom, the drippy faucet, has failed to look hardcore. Remember, because he said, well, the pandemic's over, because he failed them. He failed to continue to lie to us. The Democrats now have dug up crusty old Dr. Birx, hereafter known as Dr. Bricks, right? She is the new expert. She is now Mrs. Science, because, Dr. F, he was Mr. Science. So she's now Mrs. Science. Yes, folks, cerveza bug is going to have to make a new appearance soon. Be ready. That's right. New York City, they're getting all wound up for it. They're trying to pass laws saying if your kids don't have the Jim Jones juice, you're going to have to pay more taxes. They're looking at China going, oh yeah, China's in bad shape. That means we're going to get it too. We already know 99.85% chance of survival. The only people dying from that crap are people with bad immune systems, compromised health, comorbidities, and you can take, right? You can give your horse pace and you will recover from it, right? Your horse will be good too. This is where we're at, folks. It is a wild, wild, wild ride. Welcome back. It is time. And the whole censorship thing, right? Do you know you're being censored, folks? Do you realize the power of this censorship? And the loss of it is driving these wackos bananas.
Have you any idea how successful censorship is on TV? Don't know the answer? Successful, isn't it?
Are you ready?
Okay, it is time for Q&A. We got Jolene in the house. We got Uman behind the scenes, and we've got you. Thank you for supporting us here on the Prepared Mind channel, folks. You guys on Patreon, you're the best. Okay. John N checks in. And folks, we're getting a lot of people checking in through the back channels. And for those, we've got an author out there who's got some books that he wanted us to check out. He's like, hey, I've been writing these books for a long time. He said he's been trying to get a hold of me, finally got a hold of us through another person, and thankfully we caught him. We're going to get those books out. I believe Ron is the author in question. It's impossible to get a hold of me, folks, even when I want people to get a hold of me, right? Now, I'm not going to put my phone number, I'm not going to put my email address out for public, because you know what would happen, right? I have every lunatic on the planet using some sort of technology I'm not familiar with, and they'll be knocking right on the hatch door up there. Like, they're like, let us in, John, let us in. We finally found you. I keep my location private for a reason, because I don't need additional bullshit. But we do need, if you're trying to get a hold of us, be, how do we put this? You're going to have to be persistent, patient, and understand we're also being censored. I'm having emails removed and lost. We're being screwed with not only on Facebook, folks, but around the planet. It's tough. It ain't easy doing what we do. And we're doing it all, how do we put this? We're doing it all the hard way, right? With just a few of us on the front lines here. Anyways, Jolene, what have we got in the way of questions? If you guys got a person, a place, a thing, a topic, a stump the John question, whatever you got, you know, tell a lie, tell the truth. See if I can figure that out. That really has been a fun game to play. We've got Latin America preparedness. There we go. And this is what he says. A planned conference in Geneva, Switzerland on May 22nd to 28th, folks, that's a week, is about turning all pandemics over to the World Health Organization. What will happen if the World Health Organization gets control over all pandemics, and what will be the solution? Well, this is interesting. They've been talking about this for a long time. Every country on the planet has discovered this magical power they didn't know they have, that if there's a health crisis, then the government has the right to quarantine people and force people to do things medically. There is no such power, folks. It's all assumed. It is a lie. Now, even in the United States, they've tried it, right? You can be mandated to get it. No, you can't. No, you can't. They can try and tell us that. They can lie to us. But what they want to do is they want to take that power that every country has forced on their people. We've discussed China. They've got millions and tens of millions of people locked down right now. Many claim that they're starving. Many are losing their freaking minds. They're building fences around people's apartments. They're being wackos. I actually think this is a big, giant, fat lie. That is fake news, fake media being foisted on the world to make us think that's what's going on in China. I would be more apt to believe they're all at the park having a frickin' picnic. But, you know, I'm not allowed in China. Are you? Is anyone to know what's really going on there? But in Australia, they'll lock you up in a cerveza camp. If you try flying home to New Zealand, they'll do the same. They would love, folks, to tell you you have no rights in every country. Canada, you bet. England, they tried it and they lost their ass there, but they want to push. But there's this thing called treaty law. And there's a belief by governments that if we sign on to a treaty and the Senate ratifies it, then it supersedes the Constitution. The Constitution is the law of the land, not a treaty. The treaty must only be signed and approved if it does not violate. If it does not violate our basic constitutional rights, which come from Almighty God, not from any Biden or unmighty politician, right? There is nothing that has been created by the Creator that can be undone or disassembled or stolen, rightfully stolen by man. Right? It's such an easy principle to study, but they've been teaching for generations that treaty law is superior to the Constitution. It's not. This is what they're trying to do, though. They're trying to get together and say, we need a treaty for the pandemic of the world. So the World Health Organization, the WHO, can tell every country what to do. And then that country says, well, it's out of our hands. The World Health Organization is the authority, so you must obey. That's what they want us to believe. So they're trying to push this. Trust me, if they're going to do this in May 22nd to 28th, and then sometime this summer, Dr. Bricks for Brains, Mrs. Science, is going to say, we've got a pandemic in America now. They're going to point over to China, which is all goofed up, right? And say, look how bad China is. We're going to be that bad. Some guy caught bird avian flu. Oh my God. Can't you see how bad it is? No, I don't see how bad it is. They're going to push that, and they're going to say the WHO can lock us down. The WHO can mandate you get the Jim Jones juice. Really? They're going to mandate I have to take the Jim Jones juice? I don't think so. I don't. Hey folks, at the Prepared Mind channel, we take your health very seriously. That's why we recommend the Jim Jones juice. That's right, the Jim Jones juice. Get yourself a can today.
Just the friendly homes of America are always prepared for hospitality. Not only on Thanksgiving Day, but every day, all the year around. No matter who comes to call or who happens to drop in.
There's nothing like hitting the Jim Jones juice, laying one down, and feeling that stuff enter your bloodstream. Oh.
Did Bill leave his pop and candy only half eaten? No, sir.
Oh, heart attack. Defibrillator. Clot. Don't forget, call an ambulance when you get your Jim Jones juice, because it's that good. Oh.
Yeah, it's to die for, isn't it? I tell you what, if you think I've got a bad attitude about that, wait till Roger loses his frickin' mind. This is what they want to push on us, though. And it's a great topic. Thank you for bringing it up there. Latin American preparedness. Look out, folks. They're going to keep pushing that. We've got an election coming up in the fall. They don't want to let it go. They're pretending, well, Dr. Fauci, I guess it's time for him to just retire and go away. So he said, yeah, there's no more pandemic. And then he goes to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, doesn't wear a mask, even though, what is it? Didn't Vice President Kamala Harris, didn't she test positive for cerveza bug? Didn't Jen Psaki, didn't other people? They've still got the cerveza bug up there. Keep taking your Jim Jones juice, jackasses. You'll be fine. That stuff is both safe and effective. I'll pass. Thank God for satire, folks. Thank God. We got Bonnie Blue checking in and says, go back in history and look at Stalin's 5-year plan. See what he did to the peasants and the kulaks in Ukraine. Same war is being waged by progressives against the U.S. citizens today. The citizens of the USA, the sovereign people. The 5-year plan. All of the great political takeovers, they have executed not plans against their enemies, folks, but plans against their own people. Before Hitler could take on the world, he had to take on Germany. How did he do it? Hitler Youth, brown shirts, Crystal Night, Night of the Long Knives, had to convince the world that there was a section of people amongst them that was deplorable, that they were lowly rats. They needed to make the people of Germany a threat until they, so they started arresting homosexuals, Jews, gypsies, undesirables, other ethnicities that lived in Germany. That's what they're doing now. It's exactly what they're doing now. Right? The gates of hell have been opened and unleashed, and we, the free people of America, are the problem for the media. They need to silence us. We're not allowed to talk back. They need their disinformation governance board out there to tell us to shut up so we can't warn each other of what the government is doing. Stalin had his 5-year plan. They used Bolsheviks to get power. Lenin was in power. Lenin dies, and then Stalin gets in power. They continued, folks. Stalin murdered half of his officers in the army. What have they done in the United States military? Well, they're not murdering anyone, but they're kicking people out. They're promoting their own leftist lunatic officers in Washington, D.C. at the Pentagon, and they're getting rid of patriots. We had a subscriber last night, a master sergeant in the Army, say, I'm getting out because I refuse to get the Jim Jones juice. So they're purging the military, folks. They're silencing us with media, social media. They're silencing us socially in our social lives, in our professional lives. They're trying everything they can. And getting Twitter back is really a big, stick in their craw. They don't like it. They don't like us being free. They're trying to shut us up. It's easy to see, folks. I recommend that you just go on to Wikipedia, even go on the left-wing website. Check out what Stalin did in his 5-year plan. Take a look at Chairman Mao of China. See what he did to his people in order to bring about a more perfect socialist utopia. Hitler did it. Stalin did it. Mao did it. Look what they're doing now. Look what they're doing now. They're trying to tell you, you don't have rights, and free speech is a threat. It's a danger to democracy. Really? Well, number one, we don't have a democracy, right? That's okay, though, right? I got one for you here. I'm going to jump back in. Governor DeSantis of Florida, Ron DeSantis, has been fighting for freedom for the people of Florida. And in fact, he's become the proxy governor for everyone who wants freedom. Well, he was attacked, not physically. He was attacked at the White House Correspondents' Ball by Trevor Noah of the fake news world. This is what he had to say, folks. Governor Ron DeSantis said, quote, "So I would have never attend that because he was accused by Trevor Noah of being there in the audience. They were trying to make it look like Governor DeSantis was in this White House Correspondents' Ball, rubbing shoulder with all these greasy, slimy snakes and scumbags in Washington. And Governor DeSantis didn't want to have any of that. He said, so I would never attend that. I have no interest in that. I did not watch it. I do not care what they do. But for them to advertise me when that invitation was rejected by my office, that is a lie. And so here they are saying how important they are, that they are somehow those paragons of truth. And yet there they are lying about something that is readily verifiable. So the idea that I was there is false. The idea that I would have ever gone is false. It just shows you why that cabal of people in DC, New York, are so reviled by so many Americans. I think it's a reputation that's well deserved. Whoa. Musk throws down. Governor DeSantis throws down. Trump is throwing down. You need to throw down, right? Boebert is throwing down. Everyone needs to stand up and throw down and just start saying what needs to be said. Free speech, folks. Free speech. He called them out on it. Incredible. Because if they get their way, if they continue to have their push, we're going to have a Stalin-style 5-year plan here. Thank you for that, Bonnie Blue. We're going to have that here in our country, where they can pull a Hitler and just have the goose-stepping Gestapo come up to your house, knock on your door, or just kick it in and drag you off because they don't like your opinion, right? Maybe the Disinformation Governance Board will decide it's a criminal offense to speak something that they don't like. And these people in DC, it's incredible, folks. And it's great that I'm glad DeSantis called them paragons of truth, because they're the opposite of it. right? He's being completely facetious there, right? They're having to lie about him, that he's there so that they can try and lampoon him and make fun of him, try and say he's one of them. And it offended DeSantis so much that he put this paragraph out. He's like, oh, no, I don't want anything to do with any of you people. You're a bunch of scum, right? He called them a cabal of people, folks. A cabal of rotten people. He said they're reviled by so many Americans. Is he wrong? Right? He says being reviled is a reputation that's well deserved. I think he could have said a lot worse, or maybe something that sounds a lot more like what I would say about those scumbags up there. Anyways, they are a bunch of carpetbaggers. They're a bunch of grifters. They're a bunch of thieves. They're just flat out liars. Biden, folks. Hunter Biden. Nancy Pelosi. Oh, she was over in Ukraine. Oh, it came out what she was doing over there. She went and put the United States right in the middle of it and said that we're going to back and support Ukraine until they have achieved victory. So Nancy Pelosi, she's the executive, or the, shall we say, commander in chief. She can make that kind of promise as Speaker of the House. Unbelievable, folks. And by the way, let me cover this. The United States military, at the orders of the United States government, is training Ukrainian military on German soil. And this is a problem. This is a big problem, folks. There's international law. There's law about war, right? International legal war experts are saying that arming Ukrainians doesn't really tie the U.S. government or enter them into the war with Ukraine, but training of Ukraine soldiers by American soldiers does risk crossing the line and making the U.S. government a party to this war. Is this how our country, gets dragged into war, into World War III by Washington, D.C.? A legal interpretation by some international legal scholars? So instead of saying, no, thank you, right, when this fact is brought into the world's public awareness that U.S. troops are training theirs, we're supposed to say, oh, well, I guess we've been caught. I guess the military's been training them, and since that means we're in the war, I guess now we're supposed to support it because, whatever. No way, folks. We got some big trouble. What else have we got from you guys out there? We got Who's Your Life 67. He says, is bovine and sheep dewormer the same as the horse paste? If the first letter of the medication is I and the last letter is N, I believe it is. Now, I'm going to say this. I think that horse dewormer, or bovine and sheep dewormer, that starts with I and ends with N, it is very effective at what it does. And I would recommend using that as a last resort, because now you can get that same medication in human tablets. In fact, that same medication that the governor of Kentucky, or is it Tennessee, has proposed they should sell over the counter. Just like you can go get aspirins or Pepto-Bismol or horse dewormer over the counter. You can get it on the preparedmind.club. You can get it there at the preparedmind.club. In fact, I just went and ordered some for somebody who is a little bit confused about it. And they're going to ship it to them. And I helped somebody order it off of the website. It wasn't as easy as going and getting it down at your local CVS or Kroger or Walgreens or Rite Aid. It wasn't that easy, but you can get the human pills. Your doctor, your physician should be able to prescribe it to you. I've had other friends, even in the great state of California. That's right, folks. The People's Republic of California, there are pharmacists and there are doctors that are prescribing that same medication in tablet form. It's the same exact medication. If it starts with I and ends with N and has the letter V in the middle somewhere, and maybe an M and an E and, an R, I think you've gotten my drift, right? Talk to your physician, say, this is what I want, right? It's completely legal. I recommend doing that. But yeah, if you've got to go down the road, veterinary road, I recommend that as a last resort. And I've taken plenty of it and administered it to my horse and several times. Let's see, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 different times I've administered horse dewormer to my horse. I had no ill effects because it's perfectly safe for your horse to get horse dewormer. And of course, I've never had any problem. There it is, the preparedmind.club medical. And in addition to that, I believe they recommend or doctors have put together some stuff. Let's see, the eye stuff, doxycycline and zinc. Someone I know was feeling very ill. They started taking high amounts of vitamin C, zinc, and vitamin D, and they started feeling better within 24 hours. Cat Got Your Tongue checks in and says, is it possible that China is locking down with zero tolerance their zero cerveza bug rules as a smokescreen for the excuse to stop exports to Western countries? We depend on them for almost everything. That, Cat Got Your Tongue, that is precisely what many skeptics of cerveza bug, what many financial economic experts are saying, even in the mainstream. It's starting to come out and they're saying this is just, it's beyond any expectation or understanding why they would do this. China, folks, is Russia's ally. China and Russia have signed publicly deals supporting and pledging their support for one another. What has China and Russia said to one another that isn't publicly known? What plans do they have as allies that we're not made aware of? Not me, not you, not even the governments of England or America or the European Union, right? The West, European Union, England, and the United States have all said they're going to sanction and try and crush and defeat and punish the Russian people because of what Vladimir Putin has done. China realizes, folks, China understands that the same thing could happen to them at any time, especially if they make a move towards Taiwan. Yes, we've got a problem with China. Yes, it's a big deal. And I'm expecting, folks, I'm waiting for it. In fact, we even have a little promo blip that Mr. T has created so that when China finally does something not passive, like, well, we're just not going to ship anything and we're not going to do anything because we got cerveza bug, but when they take more aggressive actions, you'll probably be seeing this. And if they move into and start rattling their sabers and moving towards Taiwan, you'll probably see this. But they're not doing anything yet. China is just denying the United States of America and the rest of the world their products. Isn't that interesting? It's a passive aggressive attack on America. I expect there to be a whole lot more. I don't think this is going to go away. I don't think we're done with it, right? You know, Russian media is pushing the threats. The Chinese government is being remarkably quiet, but they're just locking everything down. We've got some big issues, some big problems, folks, in our own country. Can you handle the truth? Can you handle the satire right? Can you handle it? I know you can. I want to thank you for doing just that. I need to ask and continue to ask you for your support in watching these videos, subscribing, give it a thumbs up. Everyone, give it a thumbs up and share these videos with others. The only way, folks, to win is for us to keep talking, to keep promoting the idea that free speech is good, that putting sunshine, the light of day, the light of truth, that we need to illuminate their lies and expose their fraud and talk about them and what they're doing. Not with trepidation, folks, but with passion and patriotism behind us. To fail to do that, to fail to spread the word of truth, right, almost guarantees that we're going to suffer worse and even lose this battle, lose this war, right? Lose the soul of America. That's what they're trying to do by going into schools and doing what they're doing to children with critical race theory and drag queens and trans this and rainbow that. They're trying to take over America. They're trying to punish old folks with this illness crap. They're trying to punish all of us. And they're doing it, folks. They're punishing us. They're so afraid of Twitter, folks. It just goes to show you how important your voice is. I think it screams volumes, right? It screams loudly. But that's what they're afraid of, is free speech. So use what free speech you have and share these videos. Let me be the speaker for what it is you want other people to know. Go back and look at other videos. Hit set it and forget it. And when you hear something, folks, you hit the play all button at the Prepared Mind channel. Hit the play all button and let them play. And when you hear something that's important, share that video with others. Because what's important to you, believe it or not, is going to be important to others. And it'll help them make the right decisions and start thinking about what is actually happening and stop worrying about Dancing with the Stars or My Little Pony or whatever is on Netflix this week. And Netflix is going down, by the way. They're going down. It's going to get messy. Shit has hit the fan, and chance favors the prepared mind. Aren't you glad you're a prepper? Semper Fi, Godspeed.
Have you any idea how successful censorship is on TV? Don't know the answer? Successful, isn't it?